If you want to be my cultist, you gotta go kill your friends.
Welcome to the Vale, a rare bastion of civilization in a world recuperating after a terrible, centuries-long war. Though the battles ended 200 years ago, the land still recovers from this period of tumultuous strife and slavery. Join now the defenders of the Vale as they navigate a world riddled with opportunity and tragedy, all the while seeking glory, gold, and adventure.
Well, when last we left off, you guys had rescued a Basil, and we're discussing what you're gonna do next. What do you guys want to do next?
Kill things.
I mean, yeah, that does sound about right.
I think going and getting the last bit of the cults, that's left. But, that's because remember he came in, that's what we were all about, destroying the cult. So.
Oh, right. When we ended, we decided we were going to go after the cult because we'd probably end up having to face Blue at some point while that's going on anyways.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that.
So, do
Makes
we
sense to me.
know where to start looking for the cult?
That's what we were going to be thinking about. I had a couple ideas, but I think I remember Ricky saying the Rin network was kind of busy.
And there's no Rin today.
Yeah, they're busy finding Rin. He's lost. And they're like, where is the boss? Oh my god.
Sad part is he's standing right below him.
He's right there. No. I kind of think, I kind of still sort of stand by what Basil said last time. I think since we don't really have that many leads to where they are, and we haven't, I don't remember if we've had like a proper catch up with the people of the town since that 4-year time skip. I kind of think that we should try just sort of asking around, seeing if people have noticed any suspicious activity, or I don't know, because we had been gone for a while. And I don't super remember us getting debriefed.
I can't think of any specific leads off the top of my head.
We do have our quote-unquote friend in the hand, the one who's not going to be causing any problems. If we can get message to them, he might be able to tell us more if he's still around.
I thought that he basically was his own thing now.
But he even if he is his own thing, he might know where the other little turds that he used to belong to are. So.
That's a good point. Also, I think the technical term is dingleberries. Yeah, Geyser is probably a good shout.
Hannibal.
You mean Geyser?
Right, Dr. Lecter.
Mm-hmm. So
That's just
then,
a stage name.
if we were to pull our ideas together, what different leads or what different avenues of researching? Because I have some stuff I'm going to give you, but you got to work for it a little bit. What type of stuff would you guys do to find out stuff about them? Things like reaching out to Geyser, what type of people would you lend on? I know you guys are, the Red Network's going to pull some information out. You'll probably get some information from them relatively soon, possibly from Ren's contact in the town, Matilda.
Well, Basil's part of the Elven Order of Urban Spices, and at least Mango was involved with our guild in fighting the cult. So maybe he could try and talk to some people there if he knows where to find any members of the Order. I don't know if he does.
Basil, like yourself, wasn't Gravine a part of the cult too? He might have a few ideas for us.
That's a pretty good point.
Former member and all.
He always knows random little bits of helpful information, so... Also, I have to imagine, the cult probably makes up a decent part of his collection of corpses.
Okay, so what would you guys like to do?
Are we doing it over the course of like a day or a week or what?
I don't know. Give me some ideas.
Well, Basil still has like 2 levels of exhaustion, so I know what the effects of those are, but I don't know how easy it is to get rid of them if he just needs more rest or something.
Yeah, you gotta sleep them off.
Can I, like, will doing stuff negate that resting? Yeah.
Basically,
Give me
every
a second
time
to
you take a
read it,
long
please.
rest, you get rid of a level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
I think clerics can also take care of it too, but our cleric's MIA, so you're just done.
Well, she's doing cleric stuff. She's busy. Yeah, I mean, Basil will take it slow, but he will. I guess he would try and get in contact with someone from the Order. That's what he would be doing. If he isn't called for any other, avenue of finding out things, he would try and speak to probably particularly Mango, because I guess actually, was Mango's memory wiped as well? I don't remember, because Mango was with me and Ron, the incorrect Ron, not the editor Ron. Now my memory's a bit fuzzy. Well, I guess he would want to talk to the Order anyway, so I guess that's what Basil's doing. So that's what Basil's doing.
So you're gonna put out word that you want somebody from the Monk Order to come chat with you?
Yeah.
All right, got it.
Specifically
So-
one that might know about the cult, yeah.
Don't you specifically me?
Well, you should find them specifically.
Oh, specifically, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Eat it, Roland. That's the title of the episode. Or specifically.
Eat it, Roland. What the heck? What the heck? That's messed up.
Fenilius, what are your ideas? What do you think you would be doing in this situation?
Fenilius doesn't care anything about the hand anymore. He would be working on the
Foot.
other projects that he's got.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe talk with Gravine to see what sort of intel we've already gathered, that the guild has already gathered. I don't know why I feel like he's the best one to talk to. Maybe Breck would be better in that
Also
regards.
good. Also good.
And it's teleporting back to the arena. I don't think we technically even know where it is. I don't think that's a possibility.
We've been there.
We've been there. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe teleport would work like that. But still, that could be right in the middle of,
Fighting?
or right in the middle of like a base type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly the best way to infiltrate a place.
Showing up in the middle and killing everything in there? That's the best way to me. I stand corrected. That might be an Onyx decision they come up with, yeah.
Oh, that means it's perfect.
So Onyx wants to teleport to the arena and just wholesale slaughter everything in there.
Well, if that's the base, then, it might work.
What else would Onyx in character be thinking about or trying to do? Like if you had a little bit of time to try to find something on the cult, how would Onyx keep himself busy? And would he be finding the cult? Would he just be working on weapons? Would he be maintaining the people under base? Like what would he be doing in this situation?
He would be working on weapons some. He would also be down checking on down here. And if he meets up with the dwarves or whatever that are down there, he may ask, hey, what have you heard about, those cult bastards and stuff like that, to see if anybody heard anything from down there. But he would be hammering things out mainly, but then also checking on his people.
Got it. Roland, what would you be doing besides reaching out to Brack and Gravine over if you had a little bit of time to work on things while the information was being gathered? What would you do to bide the time until the results came back in?
Well, Roland would probably just be continuing his general upkeep of the local flora throughout Centervale, specifically the Glade, but he would check on the other parks and things that had been set up over the years, and probably do a little bit of maintenance, seeing as how he was gone for 4 of them.
Okay. Same thing for Basil, if you had time.
If Basil had spare time, yeah, he would be, I guess he would want to, occasionally he has to check in on the Order anyway, but I guess around Centervale, if it's unrelated from any of our active goals, he would be just working on the tattoo thing. I remember he wanted to sort of establish that in Centervale and as part of the guild, and since he's been gone for a while, I guess it's sort of fallen away. I mean, also he's got that mural thing to work on, so I guess he would begin sort of drafting for that, because he doesn't really know where it's going yet, so he has to start sometime. So I guess he would just every now and then occasionally spend some time, working on his ideas for that. Do you get what I mean?
Yep. All right. What about Grok?
I already told you what I'm doing.
So you can do the bones thing?
Yes.
And then what else are you going to be doing? Because that's going to take Grok like an hour.
Oh, I thought you were going to make me spend a whole lot more time doing that.
Oh, you basically have to go in, grab bones, animate them, dress them up.
Okay. I have no idea what else I'll be doing.
Raise Dead is level 3, right?
Yes.
So as long as you realize that you're giving up a 3rd level spell slot to keep those things around, right?
Yeah, I know how Animate Dead works.
Animate Dead, that's what it is.
That's why I picked 4, because 4 is how many I can have with only giving up 1 slot.
Cool. Alright. Bones.
Bodies, I want zombies, not skeletons.
Alright, we got Onyx, we've got Owen, we got Basil, Grok, we got Pen. Oh, we don't have to worry about anybody else because all the important people have been done already.
What the heck?
Okay, so here's what's going on. You guys have been gone more than you've been in town, right? It's fair to say that most of the adventure's been out of town doing things, right?
Yes.
Well, you started as a guild to do jobs to make profit. You've been doing all these jobs, these really big jobs, but you guys haven't been making any profit on it. So, some stuff's happening. You guys wake up and you come down, and when you come down, you see Brack. Brack's actually in almost what would be called business casual attire.
Not business goblin.
Oh yeah, he's just got paper, and he comes up, and he's got a little booth set up, kind of over here, on the side of the thing. And as he comes in, he goes, "Hey, Fanilius, either you or one of your yokels come over here.
Oh, okay.
Come on." So he goes, "You guys have been doing a lot of work, and we've actually been getting money. We just haven't had a good time to divvy it up. So I'm gonna give you a thing." And he slides over. You guys all have a bag of holding, don't you?
Not everybody.
You all should have one. Remember, the guy gave you gold
Oh yeah.
in a little bag of holding.
Scandal has one. That's awkward.
That was giving us a bag of holding.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a lot of gold in a small pouch.
I know,
But
but I
it's a-
didn't realize we were keeping the pouch.
It's a custom bag of holding. For the record, the one you guys got from that vendor is for coin only. And it's a DM doesn't want to track encumbrance for your stupid gold coins of holding. So, do you go over there? Oh, you did. You went over there. And he's gonna. Hey, you got that bag? You got that money bag?
I do, yes.
Give me a hair. And he kind of reaches over and grabs at it from you. Rudely, like you would.
I hand it over.
Perfect. And what I whisper you is the amount you're going to add to your gold totals and to your fancy bag here. As you see Brack just dumping money from one bag into yours, and you hear him counting like, what would be the reference for that? Short Circuit, when he's reading and he's flipping the pages and he goes, as he's reading real fast, that's how Brack counts money.
He moves like they do.
Did you get that, Ben?
I did.
Okay. So add that to your total, and even that is actually less than you're supposed to be at. It just hurts me to give out that. Like, I physically feel like a jerk for handing that out for some reason. It's a DM falling on my part. He goes, "All right, buddy,
No problem.
that's some of your that's some back pay, and you know the sum came out. The guild got theirs already, so that's all you."
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Nah, thank you, man. Good job. We're gonna have a whole new socio-economic class in the Center Vale. And he goes, "Okay, Basil, get your lazy flippy boy butt over here."
Basil will get up and go toward Breck is and be like, "Oh, good morning, Breck.
He takes that little bag from you without asking. He doesn't even say anything.
I don't have one of those bags because Basil wasn't there."
Oh, such a hassle. So he gives you a bag.
Hassle the
that.
lesser.
Hassle the lesser. The leastest.
Oh, what a lovely bag.
And in that bag, you have what I whispered you.
Oh my god, that's a lot of money.
Ah, get away. You earned it. Shut up.
Oh wow, that is certainly
Okay,
a
Roland,
handsome
you're
sum.
next.
Thank you, Breck. You will leave.
Go feed some orphans or whatever.
Quite.
Roland, come on over.
And yes, Breck, I'm coming.
He reaches over and awkwardly grabs a bag from around your waistline. He goes, "You should probably eat a burger and maybe drink some more fatty beer. You're getting skinny, Bones." And pours out the money into it. And it's a whisper and roll 20, but that's how much you got.
Okay.
Like, Grok, come over here.
And Grok makes his way over there.
Grok, it's your job to explain to your simulacrum why he don't get paid. Or to pay him. That's all you.
That's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, that's not my fight. That's you, buddy. You're the one that made stuff up out of nothing.
It wasn't nothing. I made a snowman and then brought him to life.
Yeah, well, you should have said no when Elsa said, do you want to build a snowman? Now you got, like, child support payments you got to handle.
That was really good. I'm laughing.
All right, so did you get the message in Roll20?
Yes.
All right, that's what you did. Onyx!
Huh?
Come on, waddle on over here, buddy. I got a thing for you. He just walked over. I imagine Onyx legitimately walked on top of the tables. You just went
Yeah, I bet it that way on purpose. Yeah.
Hey, let me see this. You mind if I see that money pouch? I'm gonna give you some money.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a little terrified of your axe or your weapons. He doesn't want to just snatch from you. All right, and then he pours some gold out and he goes, "Hey, well, how's the basement doing? That little kingdom thing you're doing with all the dirt and rocks.
Down here, it's okay.
Hey, now you ought to be able to buy your kids a toy or something."
You actually think I get any of this myself?
I don't talk too much about it, but I know how that marriage works. Anybody seen the rogue guy?
Last time I seen him, he was with Matilda.
Oh, she's probably paying him.
Well, one of them certainly is paying.
All right, so Brack will be like, "Hey, Rabby Dad,
Yes, Mr. Breck?
get over here, kitty cat. I got a thing."
Okay. And she's gonna, like, squinty, suspiciously follow.
Once you get over there, he's gonna go, "Hey, give me your money back. You gotta get paid."
Okay. And she's gonna hand it over with no questions.
And he does the same thing he's been doing as he pours money in there. And I'm gonna whisper you as Brack pours out a certain amount of money into your bag.
Okay. Robbie John is pleased.
I almost gave you catnip instead.
Robbie John wouldn't have liked that, but with the amount that Mr. Breck gave Robbie John, she can buy plenty of catnip, so that works out.
All right, we're gonna pause for a second. What would Rabby Jan be doing to help figure out the stuff with the cult? How would you be? What would you be doing to do that? And then what would you be doing in general if you had a little bit of time in Centerville, working on the church, taking care of homeless, doing backflips?
Robbie John would probably be doing whatever she can to, like, help around town, like healing people, training people how to heal. She might have tried to organize healers for any, like, scouting parties or anything, because I feel like with how big the cult is, the defenders, like our little group, wouldn't be the only people going after the cult. So she would be organizing healers for any other adventuring parties. And she would also be making sure that her healers, when they got back with any information, they would come straight to her and tell her what they found.
You would be making sure that any groups went out had a healer, any scouting parties and like the city defenses and stuff like that would have a healer, and then you would have those healers specifically be gathering information. So you're tapping into like the guards and the scouts and all that to see what they've encountered.
Yep, anybody that needs a healer, anybody that puts himself in a position that they could get hurt, yeah, Robbie John will be setting up adventuring work for any willing healers.
I love it. All right.
You know, that reminds me, we could do something similar by reaching out to the other guilds and try to coordinate and share information that way.
Okay, good. So here's what's going to happen. At that point in time, Brack goes, "Hey, listen, I've got people reaching out that ran information network," which is a redundant statement. That's like saying ACT test, American College test, right? They're working on some bull crap. We're going to heal from Matilda in a couple of days. Why don't you guys relax? Go to the beach, grab a margarita, eat some snacks. You guys are going to have an entire month's downtime.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm working very blatantly on two of my biggest deficiencies as a DM, giving downtime and rewards. Now, Onyx, Mallory, Basil, and Phanilius have expressed some stuff to me that will take all of that month's downtime if you want to commit to the stuff that you've expressed.
I'm good.
Yep.
Robbie John's good. She would be enjoying her breakfast for 30 days and, sleeping in maybe a little bit.
I think one person wants to extend that to 32 days, which is no problem on my narrative. So it's 32 days of downtime.
It's a long month.
Well, I mean, it wasn't all the way over. You had 2 days left in whatever month we're in magically, and all of a sudden there's the next month. So what I want to do now is we're gonna take a moment and go through what happens in that month with everybody. Does anybody? I'm assuming, Rick, you don't want everybody to hear what you're doing.
Correct.
Okay. Does anybody not care if anybody hears what they do over the month?
I do not care.
Okay, we'll start with Onyx. Onyx said he's going to keep 8,000 of that for himself. He gave 10,000 to the wife and kids because she's running the household, right? And technically his wife's obviously all women are queens, but his wife's like legitimately kind of, I don't know if you realize, Onyx is kind of a king. Like, I don't think any of you realize he's kind of a king. And then he said he's going to give 70,000 to help down here, which, by the way, he named his kingdom down here to remind you that it's Onyx, and that's probably why you don't realize he's a king.
Does
I think
anybody
we can
know
all
how
imagine how
his,
naming that one.
his subjects feel about him being king?
Oh, his people. Well, think about it from his subjects. Let's talk about that. Let's establish that. He joined the Defenders, and he helped. He got the killing blow. I'm doing quotes on Dethyro, right? The guy who destroyed his former home. And then he went and rallied his people and some other undesirables and created a new safe place close enough to the guild that it can be defected, that it's got an army to help it. Not only that, he's acting as an intermediary. He's the only one that's, no, not true, Fanilius. Him and Fanilius are the only two that have spoken to the dwarves. There's a giant dwarf kingdom below Centervale, like in the underground, like a huge dwarf kingdom, who have largely kept separate. And what he's establishing now is almost a trade hub for the goods from the dwarves to the goods from Centervale. Like, these are all things he's doing. So his people, they love the guy. He's coming up with a place. He's already worked out an economic boon. Like, it's got all the different things that it would need to possibly blow up and be very prosperous. I think I tried to say profit and prosper at the same time, so it's prosperous.
Oh, I think that's an element.
So, yeah, phosphorus? Yes, it's phosphorus. Very flammable and glows a fun color. So, you go back home, you see your wife. I think your kids are there. They both run up. Dad, look! And they grab their halberds that you got for them and stab at you.
I let them.
And you've got it's twin. Is it twin sons? It's a twin boy and girl.
It's a boy and a girl.
The girl goes, look, I would like to rage, and whaps you as hard as she can with it. It kind of hurts. You take a hit point of damage, but, whatever. You got plenty.
Okay, my turn.
She flexes her little toddler muscles and holds I think she's like 5 or 6 at this point, holds the spear up and goes, all right, bring it.
I swing very easily at her.
She reaches up and she tries to deflect it, and when she does, then she'll swipe it aside, and then she'll like throw her weapon down and she'll dive at your knee and try to grapple you to the ground.
Man, you're harder to beat than Jethero was.
I'd stab him in the eye, Pops.
That's it.
And then I'd look at him and I'd say, can you see me now? Anyway, the kids wrestle around with you for a while, and your wife walks in and goes, hey, it's nice to see you again. How long are you in town for?
I don't know. They said do stuff, so I am.
There's plenty of stuff to do. While you're gone, the dwarves came up and they wanted to talk to you about building a quarter, like building a neighborhood where they can keep some trade people and set up some warehouses and stuff to make trade easier. I tentatively agreed and said that would be fine, but of course we need your final approval. You got some people talking about making a militia, like a town guard. And we've also got some weird new people who have been staying outside of town that they haven't been causing any problems, but they've been like, I don't know, like just out there, like kind of come in occasionally and scrounge and do some trading, and they bounce out real quick. They're really weird looking.
I'm gonna look at that.
I like weird. All right, so they've been down south of town. You're gonna go out there and take a peek with them?
Yes.
All right, on your way out, like a few of the other soldiers, like when you got home, there were 2 soldiers posted outside your house, because there's always some guys there, and they're both Earth Genesee as well. And so they come with you, and by the time you get out there, you've got like 10 or 15 people walking with you, because some of them are asking you for favors, some of them just like are friends, a couple of them you knew in your hometown, and other people just there out of awe and wonder. But it's like you got a posse as you get there. And you head south of town and you see a bunch of, it looks like Seattle has a bunch of like tent cities, and it's not like Joe Arpaio's tent city in Arizona. where it's like a jail and tent. It's just a bunch of people who don't have homes but have tents, have kind of set up lean-tos and tents and built like an outside community, right?
Okay.
So it's like that, but it's very clean. It's not junky or trashy like you expect a lot of those places to be. It's very clean. And as you come walking up, you see a little bit of flurry as people start running around and kind of going up. And by the time you get there, there's 3 or 4 of those people standing kind of at the edge of the thing. And they've got kind of their hands out like, hey, we're not trying to cause any problems. And it's at this point, once you get about within range of them, you see what your wife was talking about when she said they look funny. They look like it basically looks like you took a human and you took a rat and you squished them together. They're what they would have called in like Pathfinder and some older editions of D&D rat folk.
Are you guys druids? You look like my friend Roland.
I mean, we got a couple people who are druids, but we're not all. This is just how we look all the time.
Cool. This is how I look all the time.
Yeah, also very cool. Are you guys here to chase us off? Because we haven't done anything, I swear. We didn't take anything.
No. Heard new people were hanging around and wanted to come say hi and ask if you're trying to hurt somebody, and if you are, tell you not to, or hurt you if you do, and stuff like that.
Well, it's hard. A lot of people they have we look like rats. A lot of people don't like this. But so far, this community has been okay. We just kind of set up camp here because we didn't want to make people like nervous. But we've been looking for homes.
Oh, cool. We just got this place set up. I don't know, a few years. I don't know how many is this? About that long.
Oh, okay. Well, so you guys don't have a problem with us being here?
Are you gonna do anything bad?
Well, my brother tells some really horrible puns sometimes. But other than that, I mean, pretty crime-free.
Is your brother Sue?
No.
Okay.
But just this morning he came up to me, he said, and it drives me nuts, he goes, I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. He just couldn't put it down.
So you're sure your brother's name's not Sue?
Correct.
I have a friend named Sue, and he says stuff like that.
Okay. All right, so we'll start coming in and looking for a place to set up homes. Is that okay?
Sure.
Perfect. And over the next little bit, like these rat folk become a part of the community. So now you've got a small group of dwarves, a lot of Earth Genesis, whatever, a lot of Earth Genesis people, and rat folk, along with some other humanoids, and some humans have taken up down there as well. Some parts of the down here are very dark, as there's a lot of dark vision having races down there, and some are well lit with candles and torches and whatnot.
Yep, I like those well-lit candle areas.
Yeah, perfect. So the dwarves have started working on trade. Now there is one building in Centervale where you can buy, there's like a shop, and it's owned by dwarves, and it's only dwarven stuff you can buy. The warehouse for that shop has been down here, as is the market, or the merchants who make trips from the Dwarven Kingdom up and down. Now people are starting to come in to Centervale now that they've heard there's a place to buy authentic Dwarven goods, like fresh made, that aren't relics from a time long gone. You're starting to get emissaries from like the Elven kingdoms and from the kingdoms in the desert, and like all around are starting to send people to this town where they can buy these goods. So that's awesome. The rat folk population, I mean, they're breeding like rats. Yeah, a lot of rat folk people down there. And they're kind of a nimble, very good-hearted folk. A lot of roguish type people, but they're not stealing from you guys. They're just quiet and quick.
And as long as they make sure they do stuff around the area,
and they've started going on some of your people have started jumping out. They actually go out and kind of because they're so quiet and sneaky. So it's helped reduce the number of encounters that your miners are getting into combat while they're out.
Cool.
Nobody touch a hit point. Nobody touch a spell slot, or I will delete you.
All right, guildies, you know what time it is. It is time for the mid-roll. I'm sorry, that was unnecessary. Anyhow, thank you, as always, for listening. We appreciate it. We'd love to hear any feedback that you have. You know, leaving a rating and review not only does that, but it helps other people find our show that are looking for new stuff to listen to. And yeah, I mean, we're not like, actors or other celebrity folk, that just naturally gain listeners. We need help from people like you to spread the word. And, leave us a rating and review and tell your friends about us too. Alright, Guildies, I've taken up enough of your time. Let's get back to the show.
So that's happening. How do you want to work on your tattoo stuff? Talk to me about
Okay, well, I kind of... Alright. I kind of think that for Basil, the tattoos, in relation to the guild and in relation to the order, they've sort of always been like, I guess like a symbol of like camaraderie and whatnot. And so I suppose that he would have something that like, I mean, I guess kind of like the Boy Scout thing, but not the same as like he would have a service where like he will come and give you a tattoo signifying what kind of person you are if you do and have proof for a good deed for someone else. So he won't charge you for it. It'll be just sort of like, I mean, he can't really, get around the country very quickly, So it's kind of just like a, proof you've been to Centervale kind of thing. If you can prove that you're someone worthy of living in Centervale, he will mark you as such. I was thinking something sort of along those lines.
All right, and then what do you want to do with the monk order?
The order, I think he's quite proud of like, Mango's contributions and stuff. And I think where he can, he would, because he's all about like, spreading that message of like, just don't be a doofus. Look out for the people around you and stuff like that. So I think he would sort of like, I don't know, I don't want to think of him as like an avid recruiter or anything, but he would kind of just go around, I guess, advocating for it. I don't really know how to describe it.
One thing that would happen is, like at 4 a.m, your first day back in the Vale, you hear a knock at your door, and Mango's like, "Hey, excuse me, it's I was just gonna go out for the morning exercise, and I was wondering if you would come and maybe lead the class."
Oh, of course, Mango. I'd be more than happy to. Yes, definitely.
Perfect. And so you'll go out there, and Mango and Ron, the poisonous monk, and go out a few of those people, and a couple of people you don't necessarily recognize, but who very clearly have been receiving training over the last couple of years. Are all in it's like a martial arts studio. So you're leading them through exercise and going over breathing and principles and whatnot, and all sorts of hippie monk stuff.
Mm-hmm. And like, I think at this point, Basil is still kind of he's still Basil, but he definitely seems a lot more, I guess the word would be confident in sort of running these exercises and stuff. It's like, it's become like a big part of who he is, so he's less nervous when he's doing them and stuff like that. And he is genuinely happy to teach people and lead them in ways that can, better themselves and just with the tenets of the order and whatnot.
Legit. Anything else going on during this time?
Yeah, he still has the big mural thing to work on. Now, okay, with the big the big art piece that Abel has commissioned, the one that we saw that he's yet to make. As I said, he'd want to start like preparing to create that, which obviously probably would take quite a lot of time, as it's basically like it's kind of like a magnum opus piece, you know what I mean? But he would begin like trying to prepare for that now. Now, okay, he hasn't seen or ever met some of the people on that mural, so I'm thinking maybe he might have to be tapping into some of those elven herbs and spices, if you know what I'm saying. But I don't know if he's got like some sort of way of preparing for this endeavor. Maybe he could get some help from Rin. No reason in particular, obviously.
The Rin's your go-to. I need some illicit materials. You're an asshole. Do you have any
Rin,
illicit
I need to have
materials?
some freaking crazy dreams. Can you help me out?
All right. Okay.
I need to
perfect.
see some stuff.
All right. Roland, do you care if anybody hears what you're doing?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So let's talk about it. You're going in, you want to run the Boy Scouts, you're going to do some more You're going to check on the trees and stuff. So why don't you give me a nature check, and let's see how Centerville's doing, and give me another nature check with advantage, and we'll see how the Grove is doing.
First nature check is a 21.
Nice.
Too bad that first one wasn't the one at advantage.
Yeah, but second one is a 16.
Good thing that second one was the one at advantage. All right, so you run around Centervale, and everything's still going pretty good. And as you check the different flora and fauna around Centervale, I think I use those words correctly, you notice they've been maintained in your absence. It's almost like those other people that you've been teaching about nature and stuff have been maintaining the looks. And you see a couple of new trees planted here and there, and a couple of flower beds that are arranged pretty meticulously that aren't natural but are very appeasing. You know what I mean? And the same with your grove. It's not gotten better, but it's definitely as good as you left it.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so what I would want to do then is try to further diversify the plant life. Like, I mean, I would be spending some coin to bring in exotic plants and introduce them to this environment in a controlled fashion, of course, you know, invasive species and all that.
Are we talking in the grove itself?
Primarily in the grove. Well, that's where it would start. And then depending on how they work out there, I would then start putting them out more, you know, throughout the city.
All right, then why don't you give me a percentile dice roll, and we'll see how much this is going to cost you this month.
Oof, that's a 95.
It's going to cost you 95 gold.
Okay.
Which is a lot of gold for plant stuff. But with the different merchants coming in town because of everything going on with Onyx and the different caravans coming in and out of town, this is no big deal. Like you managed to get different exotic plants, different style of plants. You got an area in your grove that's it's like when you go to like a arboretum and they've got this region type of plant life. That with your druidic magic, you've got a little bit of desert, you've got a little bit of corner of your pond that looks very swampy, and you've got a section that looks very rainforesty, and you're starting to get some real diversity. And then you've got some different stations set up through Centervale where people can appreciate this different type of flora and fauna. And your little Boy Scouts are starting to put placards up where they identify stuff with information you've given them, talk about where they're typically found, like you're at a zoo almost looking at different animals.
Awesome. Speaking of animals, while all that stuff is going on, Roland has himself a side project. He decides one day during this month of downtime to start to make use of some of the other effects of his Staff of the Woodlands. Roland is going to... The plan is to track down a brown bear, befriend it, awaken it, and have a new buddy.
Do you have the spell Awaken?
Through the Staff of the Woodlands, I do.
He's a druid. They have all the spells.
You do have Awaken. So you want to get a bear pet friend?
Yes. I figured a bear would be the most appropriate, seeing as how that's sort of Roland's nickname.
Now, are you going to take this bear with you into combat and stuff too, or is he going to be in the grove? How's this going to work?
I don't expect it to be a combat companion, just more of like a buddy.
The bear necessity?
Yes, a bear necessity. He could come along on travels, but I would, do what I could to keep him out of combat. It's not like a ranger pet type deal.
Just so you know, if he's with you and combat breaks out, there is a chance that he could be combated.
I'm aware. I'm going to have a talking bear.
You and David, you're both kicked out of my game. You just want to make more things that require more actions and more voices. Everything's going to start sounding like Brack.
I never use any of my fun druid stuff.
It's true. All right, so give me a nature roll real quick. See how friendly you can find a bear. And you've got spells that would enhance that, so you can go ahead and advantage that roll.
13.
All right. We'll get back to that in a minute.
I have inspiration. I'd like to give it to Roland to re-roll that.
Okay. Definitely kicked out of the game.
They're conspiring against you, Ricky.
23.
I guess we can make David roll a bunch of stuff now. All right, Mal. So walk me through. It's messing with church time. What's going on?
Well, first off, Rabbit John would probably be like holding little classes and like seminars for people to learn healing stuff. Otherwise, the Church of Freya would be doing pretty much the same. Same old. Rabbit John would also put out a posting and help O'Malley and a couple other higher up people asking around for like information on groups that are going out to make sure that they have healers, and then they would also help relay information. That's about it, I think. Rabbit John would be enjoying all of her free meals as well.
You keep forgetting about your gnome cook.
I will never forget that.
Anything else in particular you're trying to achieve?
Mostly, Rabbit John just wants to make sure that the town is well handled as far as health-wise, helping with any battle wounds, but also like helping to heal people that maybe injure themselves just living in town. So it's not just for adventurers, it's for everybody. Like if somebody gets sick or whatever, they can.
I was chopping up these onions and I lost a finger. Can you put that back on there for me? I need it.
Yeah, stuff like that, But mostly, other than making sure that the town is taken care of, Rabbit John is really looking for information that anybody can dig up on the cult.
So your effect on the town has done a few things. Freya's got a pretty big following in the town because you're kind of a legend in the area. People love. Okay, calm down. and people love coming to a Legends church. But not only that, part of your legend is the health of the city guard and the scouts has gotten a lot better.
I mean, it probably has, but we're not going to make that the main point.
So things have been going good. And you got some information, but I'll give that information to you in a little bit.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Besides Fenilius and Craig, get out. Go to the other channel. All right, so walk me through your shenanigans.
Since we agreed that I will limit the simulacrum shenanigans to Sim Prime and Sim Also, I can actually do the whole wish thing just with the Sims.
Yeah, but your mind's totally going to be interested in, like, if you've ever mentioned the idea to him, he wants to be a part.
All right. I mean, with him, it's even easier, even safer, I guess. But I'll just have Sim Also there as a backup in case anything goes bad. He can wish and make it go away.
Okay, so verbally walk me through this completely legal 5e plan to overpower your character.
Yeah, it basically, so from Fenilius's perspective, what his long-term goal has been, what my long-term goal for him has been, and what his long-term goal has been since he left home is to acquire knowledge. He's looking for the answer to questions, and he's feeling more inadequate than ever, and feels like he has less answers than ever, and he knows that if he was just smart enough, he could figure this all out. So he is going to start using this new powerful magic that he's learned to wish that he was just a little bit smarter. And he's going to do that, mechanically, out of character speak. He's going to do that until he hits the cap for intelligence.
That's crazy.
Using just the Sims, it would go something like, I already have Sim 1 and Sim Also. So Sim Also would wish for Fenilius to be a little bit more intelligent, and then Fenilius would cast Wish to get a new Sim, and on the next day, the new Sim 1 would use his 8th level spell to cast Simulacrum, and that Simulacrum would then cast Wish. So every day there would be the 3 castings of spells, and the score would go up.
Now, how high are you trying to get with your stats?
Fenilius would go as high as he could go. Once he thought he was smart enough, which, there isn't really a way to determine that. So, mechanically speaking, whatever the cap is, that's where I'm aiming at.
Sure. And what stats are you? Or is it just intelligence?
He's focused on intelligence. Once he's smart enough, he's going to realize that if his, he use the word constitution, but if he was just able to maintain his concentration on those spells more effectively, he would be more effective. And, if he just knew the difference between when he should do this and when he should do that. So, yeah, basically, from the player perspective, I eventually am going to want to raise Constitution and Wisdom also. Venilius is never going to care about his strength. He's never going to care about his dexterity, and it wouldn't even occur to him to consider Charisma.
Give me 1 second. I'm sure you've noticed I'm adjusting stuff on you.
I haven't noticed, actually.
Well, open your character sheet. Your simulacrums will, after a while, leave your simulacrums at your old maxes.
Okay.
Because this is... So basically what I did, and Ron's going to freak out when he hears this, and I think David will figure it out when you cast your next spell and he looks at your pluses.
Yeah, I think most people probably will figure it out.
You have... Holy crap. Look at your Arcana.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
So the cap, everything I look at the cap, they say the cap's 20 in the stats. I've seen stuff up to 30, so I let you cap your intelligence at 30 because it goes great with your story, and you've got to come up with a very creative way to work at it. At the time, mechanically, that you get to 30, you just essentially divinely get told no. It's the best I can come up with why it doesn't go. It just doesn't work. And then the regular cap for the other stats, right? The 20. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're a ridiculous character. Oh god. And I adjusted Divine too. He never does anything with you guys, but I like him.
Yeah, and he would be interested by this.
Yeah, because it's a different worded goal, but he's got the same sort of interest that you do. He's after knowledge. He's focused his knowledge, like he specifically wants to know everything about necromancy.
Yeah.
Which works for you because when you have necromancy questions, he's more than happy, and he thinks of you as a true friend. He's more than happy to talk to you about anything. Anyway, anything else in that? No, it's going to take most of the month, isn't it?
Yeah, it will take most of the month to do that.
All right. And with that, you'll get some information about the cult. Do you want that information privately, or do you want it publicly?
Publicly is fine.
Okay, I'm going to let everybody back in then. Any questions about anything before we go?
No.
You're a dirty cheater. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, well, it's 9th level spells.
Okay, it has been a month of time. Just so you guys are aware, it is now the 1st of Ire, and it's 212. It's the year 212 post-war. Ire is EYRE. Something I've hardly ever done. That's the date it is. All right. So you spent roughly 32 days downtime doing stuff. Fidelius, you were able to do, because of your shenanigans, you spent a little bit of off time because your things you did took a couple hours, and then the rest of your day you were in research, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, that was my intention.
So you and Gravine and Brack kind of researched together, and you have discovered some things, okay? The cult has a single point of origin, meaning one person created this cult, right? And the entire cult is in relation to that death god. Anyway, that guy, the cult comes from his origination, or his influence. Basically, when he first came to this planet, he tried to destroy it. Surprise, that's what he does. His goal is to kill everything. There was an ancient king. The god directly assaulted the ancient king and blasted him with all of his ancient evil god powers. And this being of hate was created. And this being and his followers were the origination of this cult. Mostly a quiet cult, but it spread its influence out and ended up developing hands, as it had people who specified in a few different things. And the entire purpose of this cult, depending on what level of the cult you are, has different meanings. Low-level people of the cult think that they're trying to set up some sort of perfect utopia where the entire cult can exist. The necromantic part of the cult think that it's about expanding their magic, and like they got a cult of the dragon vibe where they're going to have a bunch of undead dragons running around. But the real thing is this guy just wants everything to die, just like that death god. He basically became an avatar of that death god. If you want to be my cultist, you got to go kill your friends. I hate you, because now I'm just wanting to make more lyrics and do that. Anyway, and so that's the guy. The problem is nobody knows how to get to the guy except for what were formerly called the fingers of the hand. That was what made them important, is they earned their position to which they could report to the guy. Most of the time, he was a quiet leader as long as things were progressing towards chaos. Every so often, he comes out and does some things. He physically pushes some things into motion. So if you want the cult to go away, you have to do that. And if you want to get to that guy, you're going to have to go through some relatives of the guild members. You guys have found out a few things. Matilda come in and gave you a report. You've learned some things through your scouts going throughout the Underdark, plus some Dwarven tips. Fenilius, you got that research through the library you established. Roland, you focused on trees. And Rabbi Jan got some stuff from some of the stuff. There's estimated to be just one area where the cultists are centralized. One area that could be called the base. And it's actually northwest of Centervale. It's in the mountains that kind of naturally create a barrier between the Elven kingdoms and the Vale. And some of you guys are a little familiar with this area because this is where you all became friends, because you were kidnapped by orcs a long time ago, and that's how you guys originally met. So there's one. It's like a mountainous castle, and it's a pretty good sized castle. There used to be a kingdom there, but it just is how hostile the orcs are in that area, and the different goblinoids, and get some giants up there. Like, it's just not a very thriving area. It's easier to live in the desert because there's less things trying to murder you. So for the cult to move in, they've got a pretty good force up there. But if you're gonna look for the leader and the different remaining fingers of the hand, they're gonna be up there.
I talked to my dwarf buddies, and they're trying to see if there's a place where we can go in from underneath and get it from the backside. Maybe we might get them by surprise.
That is a good idea. I suppose that is our best sort of bet. As before stated, we could always try and contact Geisser for any extra information.
Yeah, I don't think we need to contact him. We might be useful to one another, but I don't... Well, actually, he might be able to get us a way in.
Perhaps.
I mean, honestly, if we removed the other fingers for him, so he was the only finger remaining, he seems pretty content to mind his own business.
That's fair. Cornelius, do you have a sending or a message type spell where you could contact Dr. Lecter? Perhaps Rabbi John might have it prepared.
She is more likely to have a spell that would do that than I am. It does not appear that I do.
Don't I remember that a lot of the fingers, went away?
They've become a 5-finger death punch.
Really?
I see what you did there.
And that's not the first time that joke has been made.
It is not.
It's not the first time. It'll probably no.
I'm not seeing that Rabbi John has any kind of message spell. I might be missing it, but...
You don't have it prepared, but you have access to both message and sending.
Sending's like a 3rd level spell, I believe.
Oh yeah, I have sending. I renamed it Sending You a DM. So, I mean, if we're not planning on talking to them today, I could prepare it for the next day.
Not me.
We're going to go ahead and end the episode there. Thanks for coming along and listening to us play some Dungeons & Dragons. We hope you had a good time. And join us next time with Defenders of the Vale as we try to find dragons to slay.
Hi, this is Mallory. I do the voice of Rabbi John, and I wanted to say thank you for joining us for another episode of Defenders of the Vale. If you would like to hear more of Defenders of the Vale, you can find us at Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, and pretty much anything else that plays podcasts. You can also find us on Twitter at Defenders Vale and Facebook, Defenders of the Vale. Our episodes come out weekly, and we would love for you to share us with your friends. We hope that you will join us again soon. Thanks again.
Time out. 1 second. Can we get that on a shirt? Ricky saying, I don't think any of you realize, but Onyx is a king. Because this is like the 3rd time I've heard Ricky say that. Ironically.
I don't think you guys realize, and it makes me laugh that Onyx is not the smartest character in the group,
Oh, he don't know it, so it's okay.
but he's in
That's
charge
true.
of a very small, at this point in time, kingdom.
I guess so, yeah. Down here.
So, anyway, yeah. So the command word to exert your control over Rabijan is Hello Kitty, and so basically you'll say Hello Kitty, and then anything you want her to do after that, she has to do.
All right, that works.
How that works.
If that were the command word, you would be safe from Fenilius' influence, I think.
Villius doesn't have the confidence to look at you and go Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty.
No, he does not.
Don't worry, Rabijan.
I think just like in character, if Fenalius said Hello Kitty to Rabijan and then asked and or demanded her to do something, she might just do it out of pure shock.
I mean, I didn't make a
That's
lie up
fair.
when I told him that. And the entire cult is in relation to that death god. What was the name of that death god, Mal?
Lord Death.
Diggity Deffy. It's okay. I can't remember his name either. I just remember you hated it.
Well, then I probably blocked it from my memory.
Do you have Rick? Do you know the name of the god I'm talking about?
I'm looking to see if I have it somewhere.
I
I'm
think
sure
it
you do.
started with an S.
No, it was
feels
like
some.
it was like a J, I think.
That feels like some first cave kind of information.
Sir. No, I can't remember.
You're close. It was in a recent episode.
Yeah,
This is like Serg something, right?
Sagiris or Sajiro or something.
Sajuri.
Sajuri!
Ziga Gargatarus.
But that was Blue's name. Ziga Gargaris is Blue's name.
That's
The
right.
death god is
Sajuri.
I remember it sounded Japanese.
Because it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said Sajuri, and then Mal hissed, and it was Basil, and then Basil immediately apologized and promised not to say it again.
And then I just said it again. Sorry.
Segura, maybe?
All right.
It was Sajuri.
So if you want the cult to go away, you have to do that. And if you want to get to that guy, you're going to have to go through some relatives of the guild members.
Very convenient for Rabijan to step away right there.
I know. I said that, and then I looked to her to get her facial reaction, and it was gone.
Fadge. How peculiar. Maybe she's not just an ex-cultist.
Maybe your family's not just ex-cultist.
Yeah, she just went to tell Sajuri. It's like going, hey, they're on to you.
Walter is Sajuri, by the way. That's who she's reporting to right now.
God, hey, Sajuri, they forgot your name because the DM's lazy on notes sometimes, but then they remembered it, and now it's trouble.
It's not looking good, boss. I don't know why that's my voice for Mallory. I don't know.
I love it.
I turned her into the.
You just gotta throw in a hiss every so often when somebody says something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dealing with those extremely poisonous snakes that bite you and poison you and whatnot.
Well, to be fair, I haven't noticed a single poisonous snake in all of my time in the Vale, so you've done an excellent job.
Yeah, you know, only complaint I got is I go over to that Roland Druid sometimes, and I'm trying to talk to him about poisonous snakes and stuff, and he just looks tired and annoyed.
That's
I can't
accurate.
imagine why.
It's weird. I'm like, hey man, look at this snake. It's so poisonous, and he's like, well, actually, I don't know if you've done, but and he keeps saying some dumbass word like venomous. I don't know what's going on. Listen, all I know is I'm trying to tell this druid guy about some poison snake because obviously he don't know nothing about poison, and I'm trying to help him be a better druid. And he's like, well, I've actually got some other commitments, and he goes off and plays Boy Scout with these kids. I'm confused. Feelings are a little hurt, but he's a generally nice guy. I gotta be honest.
He is quite nice. You know, playing Scandal was really, really, really fun. But I am very grateful to have my much simpler character sheet back. There's so much less stuff to consider when you're a monk. I know we haven't done any combat yet, but just looking at it is a lot less stressful. It would have been easier if had I played Scandal up to level 18 rather than starting at level 18.
I find it easiest when you're starting a character at level 18 that you just make a barbarian and move on with your day.
Well, yeah, like I said, I did enjoy Scandal, but there was a lot to consider. I've missed the simplicity of the monk.
The problem with jumping in with a spellcaster at such a high level is you don't really know what the character can do yet.
Yeah.
It takes a while to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
And for the record, I Googled how much wealth you guys should have at your level. You guys are broke.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought this was supposed to be a fantasy game and not like real life.
I hate that that's true for probably everybody talking right now. All right. I don't want to say cast members again. I feel like a Disney guy, and I don't want to get
The squad?
sued by a mouse. Give me all your money. Like, I don't got any money, Mickey.
Worse, that's a mighty fine looking car.
I like to in my head, Ricky's internal voice. That was a good Mickey Mouse impression. I have a feeling it wasn't, but to me, in my head, it was great.
I've
New
heard
character.
worse.
New character. I'm gonna make a rat folk named Mickey.
No,
And he's gonna
Ricky the rat, please. Excuse me.
Yes, oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine.
Hey, Mickey.
My name's Ricky. Obviously, nice to meet you guys. Finally,
Yeah.
and I had a coworker who would every time I came into work and be like, "Hey, Ricky, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind." And then I would do the clappy. Oh, I hate you guys.
Well, everybody, I'd like you to meet Dave.
Oh, you've multiplied. Have you been spending time with Fenelius?
What?
There's two bears. There's the bear and then Dave.
Haha.
I'm afraid I might misunderstand something.
Hi, Dave.
He can't talk, he's a bear.
First of all, I talk good. Okay, I'm somewhat of a conversationalist. Second of all, yeah, I am a bear. And for some people, that makes friendship with me unbearable.
Basil looks at the coffee that he's been drinking and he goes, this must be Nina's. And he slides it away from him.
So, how's everybody doing?
Well, Dave, surprised.
Yes.
I mean, I get it.
Dave here is, as you can see, is a brown bear. He's sort of a mascot of the glade, if you will.
Hey, real quick, got a couple questions for you guys. Determine how good of friends we're gonna be. You, he points to Basil. He goes, "What do you call a bear with no teeth?" A gummy bear.
Pardon? Basil just looks very confused. I don't know if gummy bears exist in this universe.
What do you call a bear without ears? B.
Yes. God.
Hey, you, he points to Onyx.
Yeah.
Why did Tigger look in the toilet? He was looking for poo.
Roland,
It's in the toilet, I know.
have you been trying out some new druidic magic on Sue? Because it's worked. But at what cost?
No, this is not Sue. This is definitely Dave.
Lamentable.
Hey, do you know what a polar bear's favorite healthy snack is?
I don't know what a polar bear is.
Iceberg lettuce and snow peas.
I'm sure that's supremely funny.
How can a bear catch a fish without a pole? We use our bare hands.
This bear has a grave aura.
All right. No more bear puns. Although, just so you know, I pulled up a website with 40 plus.
That's too many.
This guy's hilarious.
Stop. Don't encourage him.
Hilarious, you say? Where does a polar bear go to vote? The North Pole.
I don't understand.
Bear Hollow.
I have the ability to understand any spoken word, and yet all of these are incomprehensible to me.
Why did Mother Nature only make one Yogi Bear? Because when she tried to make another one, she made
had
a boo-boo.
Basil looks very stressed.
It's like I gave him what he wanted and ruined it at the same time.
That's why you should have
Ron
made
said, Can I awaken a bear? And Ricky said yes, as the monkey's paw curled one finger in.
The monkey's paw would be a great episode title.
It's true.
The bear
Still
costume.
think-
Sorry, I don't know what came over me. No more jokes.
This is gonna be edited out later, but fuck you, and fuck you.
It's fair.
It's fair. Fair bear.
All right, no more puns. I didn't delete, but I closed the tab with the bear puns.